collision with purpose, in pursuit of purpose.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Spotlight, the home of unfiltered conversation, where real talk is what we do. And I am Donna Thompson.
And I'm Dr. Laxter Stevenson, and together we're your moderators. Donna, what's going on with you today? How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel wonderful.
Wow,
Can you tell I'm all smiles?
all smiles, right? You're feeling wonderful. And isn't that a wonderful thing? This morning was in the park walking at 6:20 a.m. and what a blessing that was. What a good feeling that was, just to get up and get out there and walk and just to be alive. Just feel so grateful and thankful. So, today, what's going on in the spotlight?
So today in the spotlight, we have a special guest. Her name is Anya Grant, and she's going to be speaking to us this evening all about the heart. Now, like we said, this is unfiltered, so anything goes in this conversation. So this is going to be a hot conversation today.
So she's talking about healing heart. Wow, healing hearts. And that's a big thing, because that heart thing can get messed up easily, right? Too many people are walking around with a broken heart. And Anya is that person that can bring it back together. Isn't that awesome?
That is great. That's great. I can't wait.
But before we go into the heart healing business, before we dive into that, what else is happening in a collision with purpose world? What's going on? What's hot?
Oh my gosh, what's hot off the press in a collision with purpose? Look at here, guys. Unearthing You. This is what's hot off the press.
And can you hold it up a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. Can you see that?
I can see it. Unearthing You, your guide to self-discovery and personal growth. So what's that all about? Talk to our people about that, please.
So Unearthing You, of course, it's your guide to self-discovery and personal growth. It's all about discovering yourself, finding yourself, and it is, of course, a guide. But what I'll do is I'll give you just a quick read.
Before you go there, can you turn to that page with that photo in there, that picture? Turn to that page and read from that page. Who's that?
That it's page right there. All right. So that page right there reads, "Welcome to Unearthing You, your guide to self-discovery and personal growth. I hope that Unearthing You will serve as a catalyst for self-discovery, personal growth, and a renewed sense of purpose for you. Take this opportunity to dive deep within yourself, uncover your passions, embrace change," which I just experienced, "and unleash your full potential."
Wow. Man, beautiful picture. So you said you had an experience today about embracing change. Is that something you want to shed some light on? Or you rather not? What you want? No, this is done stuff now.
Here's the thing. We're going to table it because I don't even know what the change is going to be, but I know I'm going to have to embrace it because there's more to come.
So you experience some change, but it's still changing. That's what I hear you saying.
Yeah.
The change
Still
is ongoing.
evolving. Mm-hmm.
And indeed, that's what change is all about. It's a continuous thing. It's ongoing. And it's the one thing we are sure will happen in our lives. We must embrace change if we are to get to where we want to get to. So what else is going on? You're wearing a shirt there. It says what? In pursuit of purpose. And, we're in the business of, we have purpose by design. We have all kinds of shirts, apparels, hoodies, and long sleeve shirts like this one in the spotlight, and they're for sale. You can go to our website and purchase them. Very inexpensive, but especially right now where it's so chilly and cold, it's a good thing to have. These shirts are just amazing. These hoodies are amazing, and they look good. Look at yours. That's amazing, right?
Oh, yeah. And they're comfortable, very comfortable.
And so, talk about In Pursuit of Purpose. There's another book that's about to come online. A Collision with Purpose, In Pursuit of Purpose. What can you share about that book?
Oh, yeah. So that book will be published December. Oh, actually, we're in December this month. Yeah. So that will be hot off the press in December. And it's a book where we have several collaborators in that book that is sharing their life story of triumphs, what you would probably say tribulations, trauma, things that they had to overcome, and how they really collided with their purpose to where now, they can live in their purpose.
Yeah, great book. I should add, and that book really dig deep into how these individuals had their collision with their purpose. But the most important thing, not only did they have their collision, is how they turned adversities into real powerful things that are impacting lives, theirs and others. So look out for that book. It's available on our website. Pre-order it, get ready, get it. It's selling. Pre-orders are coming in nonstop. Now, there's another big thing happening in March 2nd to be exact. Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. Our fancy word, the colloquium, is happening March 2nd. And that's going to be at the Shiloh High School Theater, which is in Snellville, Georgia. And that is where we will be honoring members of our community who have been working in the community, serving in the community. So it's an opportunity to honor those individuals. Also, we'll get to meet some of the collaborators of the book that's being published in December. So we'll also have the book launch that will be taking place. So you'll have a book launch, a book signing. So lots of networking and working together that will be taking place March 2nd.
And guess what? Our special guest tonight is one of the collaborators. It's Anya. So she'll be coming on shortly. And, we're doing daily insights where we're talking about topics like intentionality, love, time, and all those wonderful trigger words, concepts that if we all have a better understanding of what they mean, we'll all be living a more purposeful life. And of course, that's what the Collision with Purpose is all about, right? Living that purposeful life. But we also have the Learning Academy, right? That's coming online. Yeah, an opportunity there where we're going to be having online courses. So lots of stuff happening in A Collision with Purpose at this time. But I think we need to get to our special guests. But let's take a quick break before we bring her on. Is that okay?
Yeah, just a quick break.
A quick break. All right, let's take a quick break.
A Collision with Purpose. In pursuit of purpose.
Right. See, you're rocking to some music there, Donna. Let me say something about our introduction there. I'm a music producer, and my artist, Shella Top Star, did that piece. And, it's just big stuff there. Just love that. It's actually from a song called Far We Are Come From. That's what that thing is all about. So I decided, what better song to use than a song like We're Coming From Far? Because aren't we all coming from very far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we
So,
are.
so you think it's time to bring on Anya?
Oh, yeah.
Can I say something about her?
Sure.
Anya, we're going to bring Anya on. Let's bring her on. Oh, there she is, the heart healer, the boss marketer. Hi,
Yeah.
Anya.
Hello, how you doing, Dr. Laxley? Hello, Miss Donna. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you on this platform, Anya. This is our second show, and you're just the perfect person to carry on where we left off last week, because I know you're going to take it to another place. You will have the story that you have to share today will be so impactful for our listeners. So that's why you're here. This is about uncensored, unfiltered, real talk. That is what this is all about. So how are you feeling today?
I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty nervous, but I'm sure as we go along, after the jitters go away, I'll be good.
I recall interviewing you some months ago, and you said the same thing. And you just blew it out the park, is what you did. So I think that's something you say that's to show people off. I'm nervous.
Man, like this is out there. This is out there for the world to see. So
It's in the world, and that's where we live. We live in the world, don't we?
yes, we do.
That's
Absolutely.
where we belong, because that's where we live. So Anna, who's Anya? Who's Anya?
Okay, so Dr. Laxley, I am still figuring it out, but at the present moment, I call myself a heart healer, just because I've been able to heal and touch so many hearts around me that I'm like, okay, this is who I am. I've been told that that's who I am. I'm a very nurturing person, and I care so much for the world deeply. So I was like, okay, I'm going to embrace it. And that's me. I'm a heart healer.
Wow. Tell us something about you, though, before you became the heart healer. Share something about you.
Okay, so let's see. I'm born in Jamaica, Kingston to be exact, raised in Montego Bay, and lived in Canada went to Canada when I was about 12 and lived there for about 20 years. And so now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've been many hats. I've worn many hats throughout those years. I've been a student in college. I've been a hairstylist. I've been a blogger for natural hair. I've been in the healthcare field. And now I'm in the marketing field. And I've been an entrepreneur for, I would say, majority of my professional career. So I'm currently own a marketing company, digital marketing company called Marketer Granted.
Oh. Hence the name, the boss marketer.
Yes, that's correct. And I actually started right here on YouTube. I love YouTube.
Yeah, I've checked out your YouTube channel. I think it's quite a powerful channel, and you're doing great things there. Donna, I know you have some questions for Anya. You want to say something to her. Why don't you jump in?
Sure. So the heart healer, huh? That's a big title there. That's a big title. So I guess when I think about like heart healer, like what advice would you have for someone who may have gone through heartbreak? Like, and it could be, and when I say heartbreak, because heartbreak can be anything, right? It could be a divorce, it could be the loss of a loved one, it could be friendship that has gone bad, you know,
Mm.
your heart, it's heartache, right? Like, what advice do you have for someone to, is there like certain steps that they have to take to get to the point of where they're really healed?
Mm. Oh, yeah, definitely. The first place I would recommend is honoring and just saying what it is, right? So just acknowledging that I'm in pain,
Mhm.
I'm hurting, I'm not okay. And once you're able to get to that place, because as Black women in particular, we like to be all Miss Strong and right. And though no matter what, we're going to pick ourselves up. Yes, that might be true. But under what condition do we want to do that? Do we want to pick ourselves up being almighty and then we end up getting fibroids or heart disease or a stroke, right? These are, in my opinion, symptoms that do happen to us when we try to take on so much and when we don't stop and embrace, like, I'm in pain, I'm hurting, I don't want to do anything, I want to lay in bed, and I just want to just console myself. So the first point I always recommend is just acknowledging where you're at within your pain before even start to build yourself back up to being strong again. And then from that point, you want to then understand, are you presenting yourself or healing yourself from a place of fear? So if you look at divorce, for example, is it that, okay, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna start dating now, I'm gonna just, get my hot body together? Is it based on fear, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh my God, I don't want to be alone again, I don't want to be in this world alone, I don't want to have to deal with someone who's gonna like cheat on me or someone who doesn't respect me. And then that will become like an internalized way of operating. So if this person is saying, oh, well, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna get on the treadmill and I'm gonna do this for me, but really and truly they're saying, no, I am afraid of being alone. And so I want to make sure that I continue to look good and that I'm attracting other prospects, right? So the second step I would recommend is um, feel the emotion that you are starting to build yourself up from. So understand, like, if you're still in pain, if you're being fearful, if you're being afraid, acknowledge what those emotions are and then start the healing process from there. Ultimately, the main thing you want to do as an individual, whether that's break up from a relationship, break up from grief, from separation of a family member, quickly and not what you had desired your life to be, whatever that heartache is spewing from, it's important for us to make sure we're honoring ourselves first. So understanding that, okay, I'm no longer going to be focusing on the trauma that I went through. I'm no longer going to be focusing on my emotions and being afraid and being painful, but I'm going to say what it is that Anya needs. What is it that Donna needs? What is it that Dr. Loxley needs? So I can find that within my circle, within my community, and find more of that. So let's say I went through a divorce and the emotion that I felt is fear, right? Like fear of being alone. And then the next step from there, so this is step 3, is saying, okay, is that really true? Is the fear really true based on where I want to be in my life? So if I want to be in a loving, unconditional relationship, the truth is I am love. I appreciate myself unconditionally, and start to do those things consistently without anyone else's perspective or anyone else's approval, right? Don't do something based on somebody else's approval. Just start from yourself, pick yourself up from how you're feeling and what it is that you desire, what the desired outcome is in return. So that's the 3 steps. I know it's long-winded there, but and I'm sure there are many, many ways in which you can heal yourself, but those are the 3 main ones that I would suggest.
Donna, I know you have another question. I can see it in your face.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a whole lot. That was
Yeah.
a whole lot. So my next question is, I get what you're saying. Like, you have to acknowledge where you are and that pain, um, of what you're feeling. But then even within that process, like, when you're hurting, then you potentially, in acknowledgement, then you potentially, you could start having that, depression things start coming in, not knowing what to do. Like, how do you find, or where would you find, like, resources and places where you can get help, like, you can talk to people, real conversations with people to help you get through it? Because a lot of times, like you're saying, like, people, you're going through something, you're hurt, and sometimes in our community you'll probably hear, get over it, just, pick it up, keep it moving, and not really acknowledging the pain that you're going through. Like,
Right.
like, if someone is in something like that, even though they're acknowledging that they're hurting, like, how would you, like, what advice would you have to give that person to go and seek additional resources to help them get past dealing with that pain?
Right. Okay, so the main avenue I would strongly suggest is therapy. So reaching out to resources like Black Women, I think it's called Black Women Therapists, .com. And I would strongly suggest that you reach out, maybe ask friends if they have any counselor, anyone they can refer, and get some type of help, especially if you're dealing with grief, if you're dealing with uh, any type of like heartache, or if you're even thinking of ending your own particular life, right? So, or not want to be here anymore because you feel like you're falling into depression. I know that was something that I knew was a possibility going through an experience, and I was so determined. I just said, I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to take a shower. And if that was my only goal and I achieved that, then I was accomplishing something. So if you don't have the means and the resources to necessarily get some type of therapy help or counsel help, then there are little things that you can do to start to shift that energy so you don't fall into a deep depression. And of course, it starts off with that desire and acknowledging, I am down right now, I am sad, but I don't want to fall any deeper. So once you're able to just acknowledge that, then you can do things like journal. I remember in therapy, my therapist suggests go to the side of your bed, punch your mattress, scream it out, go into the forest, give trees hugs. I did all of that. There's being grounded. If you have the ability to go in the snow or on grass, just remove your shoes and take a few steps and really feel everything, right? Really embody like what it is you're feeling or smelling or hearing or seeing, just even if it's for 10 seconds. And then writing that down. And eventually, the stagnant energy, that anger, that frustration, that feeling of I want to disappear, I don't want to be heard, I don't want to be seen, I'm sad. Eventually there'll be shifts in that energy based on the different based on how consistent you are in trying to like shift that energy of like being down and out with life, right? So I guess my number one is seek therapy first, get some referrals, have a one-on-one consultation. And then if you know that maybe financially you're not able to do that, then I would suggest the other things as well.
Wow, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
You
you.
said something about the fear. How do you know that the fear is really fear? You're really fearing something, and how do you know that?
Hmm. How do you know? That's a good question. Mm, hmm. No, I'm not sure how you know fear is really fear or something that it's an illusion that you're making up, right? That's what
And
they say.
can you take a chance on it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's also an expression, feel the fear and do it anyway. So if you feel
Mm.
like,
Mm.
if
I
you,
like that. Talk about that.
so that's something my mom always told me, like, oh, you're afraid of this. I was afraid of everything as a kid. I was afraid to
Mm.
go to college, getting accepted, and like, I have to go. Do I have to go? So you just feel it, like coming on the show right now, sitting here, having a meeting with you. I was afraid, but I said, okay, Anya, you committed, you're doing it. Let's go. And then whatever the outcome is, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be good. It's just a block that our human nature wants to interfere with. Some people say it's the devil, and
Mhm.
so on and so forth. So it's not real, but it's in our mind to prevent us from doing what we really want to do.
Mm. So feel the fear, but do it anyway. I like
Do it,
that.
do it
Do it
anyway.
anyway. Can't let it stop us, right? Because at the end of the day, we must do what we must do, right? We must act on it. Because how do you get results if you're not doing something?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Step by
How do
step. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much of what you're saying that is resonating with me, and I'm sure it's resonating with our listeners, our audience as well. So anything else you want to talk to us about? How you go about healing the heart, things like that. And let me ask you, what got you into this place that you're into this thing of healing hearts?
Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna say it's from playing with my Barbies. Okay. I had this, I had this big dollhouse in Jamaica that my grandmother made, and upstairs there was a Barbie and a Ken, and then they had kids. And I just made up these stories of how family should be based on what I experienced growing up with my grandmother, my aunts, and my cousins. And of course, what I experienced on TV and what I felt love and deep connection and great communication should be. So I created these stories. Some of them had a little bit of drama, the woman fighting over the man and the man being protective of his wife, like created all these dramas. And as I got older, I started to develop my own concept of what family is. I was raised, my first family structure was my grandma and my aunts. And then I had another family structure of my dad and my brother's mom. So it was my second mom or bonus mom. And then I had another family structure of my own where I was developing relationships. I don't have any kids yet, but because I've been mm, developing, moving from different countries and developing different relationships with people, I feel so connected and passionate about real relationships. What I also understand is that within the Black community, where we lose majority of our wealth is in the structure of the home. And so it is my work, the little that I'm doing right now, to be able to help families to stay together, to build together, to communicate well. You guys fell in love at some point, so the love can still be there. It can still be there, even though you shift as a person, right? Your family structure doesn't have to break up. And if it does, it doesn't have to be a nasty breakup. It can be
Mm.
cordial, It can be graceful. It can be done with love and understanding that this is for the betterment of the community and the betterment of the family. And so now, what has happened since I've been living in Atlanta and have been dating? Okay. What I've noticed is there are quite a bit of married men out there pretending to be single men out there. And I feel that there is a cry. I know I'm making all sorts of people uncomfortable right now, but it's okay. I feel that there is definitely a disconnect at home. I can dig a little bit deeper, but I'll be ruffling a lot of feathers. And so,
Ruffle the feathers. This is unfiltered talk. It's okay to ruffle some feathers.
Ruffle the feathers.
oh
That's
my
what
goodness.
this. Mhm.
Okay. So this is what I believe. I believe that there are great, so they can, Atlanta is considered like the Black Mecca, right? So if we are going to examine any family structure within the Black community, I would think that it would be here in this city. So what is happening? Why are all these like men, and I'm sure it's not just men, it's just I'm on this side of the fence, right? I'm sure women are doing it too. But what happens is they have created beautiful homes, beautiful families, and lost deep connection with each other, right? Have lost that spark because life just becomes so troublesome and routine and uh, selfish, right? Sometimes, when a woman is helping a man get to a certain phase in life and then he gets to that level and she knew she helped him build him up, he gets to a certain level and then things fall down, her needs aren't being met, or her goals, she grows resentful because she's feeling like, oh, she spent all her prime years taking care of the family and now she's trying to do her own thing, she's trying to do her girls trip. And so now there's like this disconnect, there's um, a conflict within the communication structure for the couples first, and then the kids are there, so the families try to stay together for the kids, and it sometimes doesn't work, and then all of a sudden y'all two strangers living in a home together, right? So i I feel like there's a way for, and this is just based on my experience with having connection with married men who have tried to develop something outside of their marriage. And I just let them know straight up, this is unacceptable, and you either need to choose to leave or you choose to work it out. And so I've had conversations with men who and they're all saying the same thing. It's almost like I sat in a room with all of them. They're spewing out the same experiences, and I'm sure I'm like I'm trying to get their opinion and understand that, okay, you're frustrated about certain things, but this is what your wife could be feeling, right? So I'm flipping the coin on them, and I'm realizing through having these conversations, whether or not it's helping them in their marriage, that's none of my business, but there needs to be a point in a relationship where they can renew their vows in a way, right? So have that reconnection again and to revive what or kill what was there and make something new again. So that is part of healing as well. That is part of like breaking down past relationship expectations and recreating new ones as well. So yeah, that's another whole direction that I decided to go into. Like, please don't kill the messenger.
Well, as I said earlier, this is real talk. No sugarcoating. We're just telling it like it is. And if that's how you feel, that's what you're experiencing, that's what you're saying, and that's exactly how you should say it. And that's what you're doing. So it's about the message that you're delivering, and it's how you feel. Donna, anything else you want to say to Anya?
I just wanted, before I say something, I wanted to take a few seconds just to thank our guests for joining us. We have several guests who have joined us this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. And I wanted to read a comment from one of our guests that joined. And the comment said, disconnected is based on men who feels like the woman don't look the same anymore. But if they water the flowers, it will bloom. That's very interesting. Is that it, Anya? Now I hear you say that you've been having conversations with some of these men and things
Yeah.
of that nature. Is that kind of like something that you find that's happening in the dialogue?
Yes, absolutely. I've had men say their wives don't, not that they're overweight, but they are not making the effort to still keep their bodies or um, lose the extra pounds. So yes, that is definitely one of them. And I think, man, the thing is, we should know by now as adults, like men, unfortunately, are visual creatures, right, Dr. Laxley?
We like to look and like
Yes,
what
very visual
it's
creatures.
important. Yes.
But even more so, I feel men desire peace. I think ultimately, if that is given in terms of peace of mind, or if the environment is such where they feel like, oh my gosh, I can come home and just relax, right, and be myself, then that will be. I think that's a more important thing to focus on versus the physical. Now it is important, and the truth is, women's bodies, like, it's going to change, especially having kids as we get older, and the men need to understand their bodies change too. Like, they can't be looking young. They're
Well,
not going to be looking young all the
Anya, I
time.
was about to say it's a two-way street, because men, some women are doing well to when they look at some of these men, how they look, and say, there's some work needs to be done on that side as well.
Yeah.
Men need to do some work and focus on their appearance as well. So I
Mhm.
think the comment about watering the flowers is so appropriate, and it needs to be watered all the way around. I think. I think,
Yes. I would also like to add, for anyone, if any woman out there who feels like my body's not the same and their self-confidence is not the same like how it was back in the day, don't focus on that, because men pick up on low confident vibration and it becomes unattractive. So I think, yes, we know that men are love the appearance of the body and desires, a nice shape, a nice figure. But ultimately, if you're gained a significant amount of weight during your marriage, and on top of that, your self-confidence has dwindled, that's also the reason too. Because I find that when a woman focuses on who she is, what she loves to do, going out with her friends, finding a new hobby, being vibrant, keeping her vibration high, regardless of what dump life might throw her way, more than likely the marriage is going to continue to bloom, right? So going back to her comment of watering the flowers, me, have to continue to water our own selves, like be the flower, take care of ourselves, so that that can be a vibration in the household as well.
And that's a solid point, because at the end of the day, we're responsible for how we look, right? Each. So The woman must also take that position. I'm going to make myself look good for me. At the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's not even about the man, right?
No.
You got to take care of yourself. I got to take care of yourself. So some great conversation there and great comments that we're seeing over there. No, we are getting close to shutting it down. Anya, is there anything else you want to add?
Yes. Ooh, just thought about it. Okay, so I'll start off by reading a quote that I have here. And it says, trauma is what happened inside you, not something that happens to you. And that is by Dr. Gabor Mate. I wanted to highlight that because so many times, as we mentioned, fear and pain, we focus so much on the scar that we lose sight of life's journeys, right? So, whenever there's something that is in our way, that is an obstacle, it's important for us to look at it as an opportunity to shift, turn the other way, look a different direction, to grow a new flower, right? To bloom again, to be more of who we desire to be. And instead, not focus on this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and continuously repeat that story of the trauma. So I wanted to comment on that. And is there anything else? I'm trying to think. There's so many directions I could go. I could definitely go. Oh, okay, yeah. So one other thing for continuing to like be a good healing place for ourselves and eventually for our home, and that's ultimately to fall strong deep into our own spirituality. So if you, whether you're Christian, Buddhist, Islam, it's important to just own in on that spiritual drive that you have. If you don't have a spiritual connection, find out what speaks best to you and make sure you have like a morning routine where you wake up, pray, connect with your divine, with the higher being, and just ultimately be the best version of yourself, right? So you can track more of that.
Yes, the best version of yourself. Donna, anything else you want to say to Anya before we close this down?
I just want to say thank you so much for being here and sharing with us. Like I'm just in awe with all the information that you have shared. And I'm quite sure for the audience that has joined us, they've definitely gotten a lot from this conversation this evening. Just thank you so much for sharing with us. And actually being, you kind of like had a little part there where you're like, I'm not sure if I should say it or I shouldn't say it. Thank you for saying it. And
You
authentic.
know, and I want to say this again, and this is for future guests that's going to come on. This is about unfiltered stuff. We're about real talk. Bring your authentic self here. We're not here to make it up. We're
Mm.
here to tell it like it is. And at the end of the day, we learn from what is real in our lives. And it's
Yeah.
not just about what you're saying that is benefiting you, your work as a heart healer. It's not about just you, right? It's about others. And that's
Mhm.
what this whole thing is all about, leading from a collision with purpose. And let me also add that at our event, the colloquium, Anya is one of the collaborator in the book in pursuit a collision with purpose in pursuit of purpose, and she will be speaking at the event and talking about how she had her collision with her purpose. So if there's a reason to be at the event, that is one reason right there. Because Anya will be speaking, and her story is compelling. We just touch on it tonight. Small piece of it, just touch on it. So her story is one of 18 stories that's in the book. And believe me when I tell you, 60,000 words of serious stuff. That's what's in that book. So get out there, pre-order the book. It's on the website at acollisionwithpurpose.com. Get your early copy. Purchase your tickets for the event. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. So you'll come and hear more from Anya, get to meet her, talk to her. Anya, how can people get in touch with you? Because I know you provide a service.
Okay, so you can hit me up on IG. So that's Anya's Heart. You can send me a DM and I will reach out to you. You can send me a DM heart and I will reach out to you.
Often I get confused with your name. I say, instead of Grant, I say Hart. Because that's your work. So, when your work becomes your name, something is happening, right?
Oh, yeah.
Something is really going on. And that's where you're at. And one thing I'll say about Anya, and talk about determination, talking about a fighter in a good way. I've seen her in action. I've seen her saying, I'm going to get it done. And don't you get it done, Anya?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You do, right?
What they say, what's that Jamaican expression? Hell, water. Oh man, I'm gonna mess it up.
No worries.
What?
No worries. You'll get another opportunity because I know you'll be back on this platform because there's so much more for us to talk about. Donna, we're going to keep Anya on the screen as we, say our goodbye for now. So who is up next? Who we have on next week?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so next week, guys, we have a retired WNBA basketball player. Her name is Michelle Reed, and her life, her story is just phenomenal. So you guys have to make sure you join us next week because that's gonna be awesome conversation as well.
Another awesome. Anya, I'm gonna let you say
it. Which one? The question?
Come hell or high water. That's the Jamaican. Someone just commented on that. Come hell or. And what does that mean again? Come hell or high water.
You're so determined. No matter what, you're gonna get through it. No matter what.
That's what it's all about. Come hell or high water. We had some technical difficulties early. We're living in a time where things happen on the internet. I got, texts that it was frozen, but guess what? It's just life, right? We deal with it. We push through. There are some things that we can manage better than others, and that's one that we couldn't manage tonight. So we apologize for the bad connection or the connectivity. But guess what? Anya, you was just amazing, as you always are. You delivered, you shared, and I know what you shared tonight will make it. I know it touched me, and and my heart is a little bit better tonight after our conversation. I'm in a better place. So, and I know there are others out there that you would have really touched. Your information would have resonated with them also.
Awesome.
So, Donna,
thanks for having me. Yes, thank you. I look forward to your event, your book launch.
Yes, that's going to be another big thing, and you're going to speak again. So, Donna, let's take this out. We've been on here for a minute, and let's take it out.
All righty. Well, thank you all for joining us this week in another episode of In the Spotlight. And until we see you again next week, peace and blessings.
That is it for now. Blessings always.